Alright, so we're done with the fundamentals of JavaScript. So now we're focusing on yung mga bagay na maliban sa fundamentals, yung mga kaya pang gawin ni JavaScript. Alright, so marami, no? So yung partly is a DOM. So again, DOM is document object model. So now, let's create a file sa loob ng DOM, which is, pangalanan din natin siya na index.html. Alright, so for the structure. And then, like what we did, alam nyo na yan, exclamation point. Tapos lagyan naman natin dito na DOM. Right? Then, ang H1, merong document object model. Right? So, I will explain it lahat kung paano at ano ibig sabihin at paano nag-works yung DOM. Right? So, first, I need to add a script tag para at least yung ginagawa natin, source natin. So, we're focusing on dun sa sa JavaScript file lang, hindi dun sa dito sa part ng index.html. Alright, so ngayon, wala pa tayong script dito. So, we need to create another. So, meron nagpapa-admit. Si Mark Anthony. Alright. And so, yeah. So, let's create another file. Pangalanan natin siya na document. Right, document.js file. Alright. Okay, so we're going to add yung source natin, which is yung file with the file extension JavaScript. Alright, so after that, let's create para at least ma-explain ko sa inyo kung para saan. So, pangalanan natin to ng value, like what we did nung last time. So, this one is, ang tawag dito is initialize. So, initialize natin yung variable, which is, as of the moment, undefined siya, wala siyang laman. So, later, lalagyan natin siya ng laman, equals natin siya sa something, para ma-explain natin at ma-output natin sa console. Right? Pag sa programming kasi, kapag nag-start, kailangan talaga puro sa console muna, for test. So, right? So, value. Tapos, check natin to. Open it with live server. Ayan. So, we have the document object model. Then, open natin yung developer tool natin. Which is, we have an element kung ano yung nasa loob nito. Alright. Tapos, dun tayo sa console. Alright. So, basically, sabi niya dito is undefined. Alright. Kasi, kinukonsole natin yung value na variable which is wala pang laman as of the moment. Alright, so let's start. Lagyan siya natin ng value. So value is equal to document. So sino ba yung document? Alright, so ngayon may kita natin siya. Alright, so ito. Okay, so as you can see nung hinover ko yung document, nag-highlights yung buong screen. Kasi madaling salita, pag sinabing document, naalala nyo nung nag-creative web design tayo, no? So, we're using materialize, diba? Ano yung ginagawa natin? jQuery selector, document. Alright, so ibig sabihin yung document, siya yung mismo HTML document. Or yung model natin. Siya yun. Alright, so nilagyan natin siya ng .ready, tapos callback function na meron mag-run na method doon sa set of curly braces natin. So, ibig sabihin, siya yung document object model. So, yan, pakita ko dito. Right, so kapag click natin itong itong parang arrow, no? So, kung ano yung pagkaka-structure natin, which is, ang nilagay ko dito is DOM title. Alright, style CSS, tapos meron tayong H1, object, and so on. We have the script with document.js. So, madaling salita, kapag sinabing document, siya yung buong document ng HTML. Alright, so I hope that this one is clear. Alright, so it's clear. Say, pakita ko ulit sa inyo. Alright, so let's continue. So I'm going to copy this one, and si document kasi meron siyang mga property. So meron tayong tawag na, let's say, all. Alright, so as you can see, may nakalagay all. Iniisip ko lang bakit naka-cross out siya. Okay. So, the all na property is already deprecated. So, ibig sabihin, nagkaroon ng update si JavaScript. Kasi nakalagay daw is deprecated. Pero, All is deprecated. Talaga. Pero this one is still working, oh. As you can see, no, kapag sinabing all, lahat ng element ibibigay niya sa'yo. So, ano yun? So, we have an HTML, alright? Head tags, meta tags, meta, title, style. Style tag? Do we have a style tag here? Wala naman, pero nabasa niya, no? Then, body and each one, script, and so on. Right? Yun yung document.all. Right? So, check natin what if kung we wanted to use yung pangalawa lang. Check natin. Alright, so, sir, paano mong sabing yung pangalawa yung kinuha natin? Alright, kasi dun sa, dito, sa part na to, kapag hindi kasama yung document type, alright, yung unang-una, tawag dito is index. So, 0, siya yung HTML, tas head tags yung pangatlo, tas yung, pang-una, pangalawa, pangatlo tong meta tags. O sir, sabi mo pangatlo, bakit 2 yung nilagay mo dito? So again, kapag sa index, kapag sinabing index, yung bilang nag-start with a 0. So kung ngayon, kapag siniro natin to, makukuha natin dyan is yung buong HTML. Right? Kasi yung pinakauna is HTML. Has a child, netong head tags and body tags. So I hope that it makes sense, guys. Right? Yun. Kaya binigay niya sa atin lahat. Pero kapag 2, right? So yung specific na element lang. Ayan. Yung meta chars at UTF-8, which is ito siya. Right? So madaling salita, pangatlo siya. Right? So how about the length? So we can go for property of length para mabilang natin kung gaano karami yung document na yun o yung element tags. So, meron tayong 8. So, bilangin natin. So, we have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ah? Paano nangyari yun? 1. And then, length. Kapag length is mag-start siya with a 1. 1. Ito yung closing niya. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Ayan. So, that's why 8 yung binigay niyang length. Right? Kasi kapag length, mag-start naman with 1. Kapag sinabi niyang index, start with 0. So, I hope that this one is clear. Okay? So, let's continue. So, how about the head? So, we wanted to see yung head. Let's say yung specific lang. So, save natin. Check natin. Makukuha natin yung head tags. So, sir, para saan ba to? Kasi, JavaScript was created for a front-end browser-based programming language. Sabihin, you can manipulate by getting from the document yung mga element tags. Okay, so it will be, parang maintindihan nyo kapag dumating na tayo doon sa mga susunod pa natin lesson. At least for now, just make sure na maintindihan nyo kung paano ko siya na-explain. And then, eventually, magagamit nito kung para saan. So, kung merong head, we can get also the body. Right? So, ito siya, yung body. Right? So, sige. And if you wanted to get the doc type, you can also do that. Okay? Clicking the document type. Alright? So, yan. Alright, so right after that, we can move on domain. So, check natin kung meron domain. Alright, so yung domain is a local host. So, siya yung local host natin na 127.0.0.1. So, ang tawag dito is local host. So, kapag hindi ka pa naka-upload, hindi ka pa naka-deploy pala sa internet, it's a local machine. So, that's why we have a server, which is a local server natin, live server natin. Binibigyan tayo na local host para ma-deploy natin or mapakita natin kung ano yung output ng ginagawa natin. Alright, so yun, domain yun. Alright, so how about the URL? Alright, so URL, check natin. So URL, ito yung parang link na kung ano yung nandito. Pag-click mo yan, ikita mo yung buong elements din dito. Alright? So, basically, yung source niya. Alright, so let's continue. So, a character set. So, it's a property. Ayan, it's a UTF. Alright? Kasi UTF yung character set. It's a default for meta tags. It's a attribute character set, UTF. Right. So, next will be content type. So, tingnan natin content type. Right? So, yung content natin and type natin is text HTML. Kapag nasa JSON na tayo, JavaScript object notation, yung pag-fetch ng API, may kita nyo, kailangan to content type. So, I think nandun siya sa network siguro. Ayan. Yung mga ganito. So, I think content, this one is CSS. Tapos, kapag yung status, diba? Pag sinabi, ibig sabihin ng status is 200, okay. Kapag 404 not found, meron ako cheat sheet dito kung para saan. It's a, ano ba ito? Statuses. HTTP statuses. Statuses. Right? Just forget it. Pero I think this one, siguro, HTTP statuses. Status code. Right? Para at least aware na rin kayo, hindi lang yung, yan, ito yan. Right? So, I will share it to you, guys. Kasi kapag nag-fetch na tayo ng mga API. Right? Share ko sa inyo yung link. Right? So, HTTP statuses. Alright? Kapag nag-fetch na tayo ng API, merong mga, response. Ang tawag dito is response dun sa mga request natin. So, basically, kapag 100 na code will be continue, which is informational. Right? Kapag 200, most likely it's a success. So, iba-iba yung yung pag-response, no? So, meron tinatawag na okay, kapag nag-create ka naman, accepted, and so on. Tapos, redirect, ito naman siya. So, client error, ayan, yung which is alam na alam nyo, 404 not found, pero marami pang iba. Okay? So, yan. So, madidiscuss natin yan during the Ajax, no? It's a asynchronous JavaScript and XML. So, yun yung mga doon. Important doon, no? So, right now, nasa DOM lang muna tayo. And I just want to give you an idea on how to, paano mag-work with the, with the developer tool. Alright? So, it's a text.html. So, yun yung content type. Alright, so let's move on with, let's continue. Val, so, is equal to document dot. So, meron din forms. So, let's say forms. Pag sinabing forms, madami. Or, basta kung merong forms dito. So, right now, wala naman tayong element tag na forms. Kaya, ang result niyan will be this one. An empty length. Right? So, HTML collection, walang laman. Pero kapag nag-create ka dito ng form element tag. Save natin ngayon. Meron ka na makikita dito na isa, form. Length natin is 1. So basically guys, you can manipulate by learning this document. Alright? So malalaman yan kung paano. So dito muna tayo sa simula. Alright, so forms. So kapag wala, 'di ba? Empty siya. So how about what if kung gusto mo yung pinakauna? So in case meron ka, sabihin niya dito undefined kasi wala ka namang forms dito, tinanggal ko. Right? Pero pag binalik ko yan, ibibigay niya na yung form with an action pa. Okay, so paano kapag dalawa yung form mo? Hiningi niya lang is yung pinakauna. Yun lang yung ibibigay niya. Okay? So sabi niya dito, document.js20. Yeah. Itong part na to. Console natin. Alright? So, tanggalin natin muna yung forms. So, I would like to inform you that you can do that or look for a forms. So, how about the ID? What if kung gusto nyo ng ID? So, ito tayo dito. Yan natin ng ID. So, sasabihin niya dito, it's undefined kasi wala naman tayong kahit anong ID dito. So, what if lagyan mo ng ID of, let's say, title. Alright? So, ngayon, meron na siyang makikita na ID, which is, ibibigay niya sa, ID ba yan? Yeah, tama naman Bakit undefined? Alright. So basically dapat kung sakali, not just an ID. Dun sa element dapat. So for example, try natin H1. Tapos lagyan natin yung ID. Oops. ID. Tingnan natin kung pwede. Uncaught error. Property of so hindi pala pwede si forms. No. Dapat meron siyang bracket. So, let's say 0. So, check natin. So hindi talaga siya pwede. Property of 0. So dapat pala to, yung ID na to sa forms lang. Alright, so let's say ito. Comment ko muna. Sorry guys. So let's say let's just add a form dito. Tapos let's say this form has an ID of, let's say, title. Save natin. And let's just add an ID. Tingnan natin kung ano yung bibigay sa atin. So let's say a title. Alright, hindi pala siya pwede sa H1. So forms lang siya pwede. Alright, so kapag binago mo to, yung let's say form dash input. So let's say lang, yun yung ikukunin niya. Alright, so basically you can manipulate the element. So what is DOM? DOM is basically ito mismo lahat. Right, so by calling the document, then put yung mga yung mga ganito na elements. So let's in this case forms, tapos yung pinakauna, then you wanted to get an ID. Right, so what if kung gusto mong kunin yung method na. Alright, so I think kasi meron method din. So methods, and save. So sir, bakit get yung nakalagay dito? Do we have put a get method dito? So wala sa form natin. The default of form na method is get, kasi merong mga method na post, put, and delete. Alright, so in this case, kapag wala kang nilagay na method, automatic babasahin niya as a get method yung form mo. So default yun. So kapag sinabing default, automatic yun yung default niya. Pero once you added a method, lagay mo dito is post. And definitely, ang makukuha mo na is yung post. I hope that it makes sense, guys. Yung sinabi ko. Alright, so that's clear. Yung purpose nun. So post, it's a method. So how about the action? Alright, so action, we have an action dito. Pero wala tayong value. Alright, so check natin to. Action. So save natin. So yung action is basically your link nung natin, yung localhost natin, which is yung index.html. Alright, so pero pwede ka maglagay dito ng kung saan ka papunta, action. Nakapag-click yung form na to, so nag-submit yung form, meron siyang action na pupunta. So anyway, wala tayong laman dito, that's why I don't want to add an example. So how about the links? So in case na I think just give me a minute. Siguro maganda siguro kung maglagay ako ng structure sa HTML. Alright? So right now wala naman akong nilagay dito kaya parang ang hirap i-explain to. So i-codes ko muna siguro, so sa HTML. So ngayon, I'm going to go for the materialize kasi gusto ko yung merong medyo maganda yung itsura. Alright, so get started. Kunin natin yung dependency. So basically, para dun sa mga galing sa akin sa creative web design, I'm expecting na alam nyo tong bagay na ginagawa. So I'll copy this dependency para magamit ko siya. Para maganda naman yung structure ng gagawin ko. Just I forgot to add at least yung structure para ma-practice natin yung DOM wala kasing laman yung structure ko, nag-add lang ng H1 ng form, di ba? Which is DOM yung lesson, so dapat may laman. Alright, so I'm going to add a script dito. Alright, and I also need a CDN and JavaScript. jQuery CDN. So basically, para sa mga galing sa akin, alam na to. Okay. So we're getting the dependency kasi maglalagay tayo ng structure. Okay, kasi nasa DOM na nga pala tayo. Just forget to add that. So minified CSS. So I will copy this one and paste in here. Actually, dapat ito nasa baba ito. Siya yung pinaka nasa dulo dapat. Alright, so meron pa ba ako nakalimutan? I think an icon. So, kailangan natin. So font awesome. So kunin ko lang yung mga credentials ko para so that I can access everything on that. As while waiting for that, I think kailangan ko rin kunin yung icon dito para in case na kailanganin ko. So lahat na importante nandito dito. Still there. Ayan, dyan pa kayo. Alright, good. Alright, so yung usage, I will copy the yung URL, yung usage. Alright, then I will paste in here. So it's here. Lagyan natin ng comment. See material icons. Material icons. That is aware tayo sa mga links na yun. And then yung font awesome natin. Yan, I have naka-ready na ako. So punta ko sa kits ko para makuha ko yung credential ko, which is yung kit. So click ko to. Para magamit ko yung font awesome. Alright, so I will copy this one. Oops. Tama? Yeah. And then let's paste in here. Yung lagay natin dito is font awesome. Ayan. Alright. So ngayon medyo mas dumami na yung laman natin kasi yung lesson nga naman natin is document object model. Para at least medyo may laman. And then I'm going to create a structure. So there one. This one will be a going to add a division as a class of container. Right? And I'm going to create a row. Right? Yung row, create ako ng column. Yung column gusto ko is S12. Alright, so para yung structure ko. So, and then I'm going to add a division na merong class of chord. Tapos yung chord na to, I wanted to add an ID of main. Alright, so ito siya. Alright, yung chord natin, alam nyo naman kapag chord, kailangan natin ng class of chord dash content. Alright. Yung chord content natin, I just wanted to add a span na ang nakalagay is chord dash title. So, para sa mga nag-creative web design sa akin, alam nyo na to, yung ginagawa ko sa task list. So I'm just building a structure nung project natin. O yung yung para ma-example na mas maayos yung ano ba to? Yung DOM, no? It's yung document object model. Oops, what is that? Alright. So, cannot read property of on document number 17. Kasi wala na tinanggal ko yun kahit sa magkakaroon talaga siya ng error. Right. So property of method kasi tinanggal ko siya, so that's fine. So that's siguro. Right. So ayan, close ko na muna to yung mga dependency na kinuha ko para hindi masyadong madami. Right, so yung statuses, share ko na sa inyo. Soon we're going to use that. Okay, and buuin muna natin yung structure. So after that, we have a title. So it's a chord. Meron tayong span. After the span, wait lang. Ayan. After the span, we're going to create another row sa loob ng chord content. Yeah. Alright. So this one. So let's create a row. Alright, so alam niyo na yung row, right? Sa loob ng row, we're going to build a form. Yung form na to, we're going to create a ID of pangalan natin task-form. Right, yung action natin, we don't need that yet for now. Okay, then sa loob ng form, syempre form, it's ginawa siya para maglagay ng input. Right, so let's just add a division na sa class of input dash field. Right, dash field, actually dapat tinigyan siya ng column. And yung column niya S12 gusto natin. Right? Dun sa loob, we're going to put an input, yung actual na element tag na input ko. Alright? And let's just add an ID of task. Alright? Alright? Tapos, that's fine. Yung type of text. Tapos, lagay natin dito is yung value. So, let's say, lagay natin dito is coding. Alright, so yung ginagawa niya daw is coding. Alright, so then just add a label. Alright, yung label natin, lagyan lang natin dito is, let's say, new task. Alright, yung form natin, let's see a task. Ayan. So, yung value nun is, ang default niya is coding. Alright, so let's create let's continue building this structure. Right, after the row, okay, let's create a input para meron siyang submit. Right, then class of btn, alam niyo naman yan na merong, we can do a background which is amber. Gusto natin amber, so return natin. Syempre, this one will be a button, so dapat hindi text but it's a submit. Save natin. We already have the button. Okay? Tapos meron tayo parang default na value dun sa input na coding. Alright? So, let's continue creating this structure. So, after the card content, this one. So, siya yun no? After the card content, let's put another division. So let's just add a card and dash action. Alright, so yung card dash action, lagyan natin siya ng H5 na ang pangalan niya, oops, malulobot yung yung charger ko. Ayan. Just give me a minute Charge ko lang. Alright. Ayan, na-charge na siya. Alright. So, yung card action natin, we're going to add an H5. Tapos, pangalanan natin siya ng ID. So, pag ID, hashtag yun. Alright. Lagyan natin dito is task dash title. Alright. So, siya yung, ano daw yung sasabihin ng task title? Sabihin natin task. Alright. So, pag sinave natin yan, we're going to have a task dito. Alright. So, para kasi ang plano natin, yung project natin sa, sa Dome. Pero bago yun, kailangan muna natin i-discuss yung kung paano nag-works to mga document na to. Alright. So, pero later, ang plano natin is kung ano yung input natin dito, kapag click natin yung submit, mapupunta dito sa baba ng task. Alright. So, I will explain the structure first. Okay, so, for example, right now, I'm going to use a UL na merong class of collection, which is, alam nyo guys, yung para dun sa mga nag-ano sa akin, nag-materialize sa akin yung UL na may collection, magkakaroon siya ng line dito. Alright, so, ang plano ko sana, kapag, let's say, tinype natin dito coding, sinubmit natin, mapupunta dito yung sa UL. Kung ano yung itatype natin dito. So, basically, it's a web development na kasi ito. Okay, more in logical at saka function and so on. So, pero, as of the moment, I want you to see kung ano yung magiging itsura. Statically, yung structure, kung ano gagawin natin. So, UL, we're going to create an LI. Right? na merong class of collection dash item. Diba? Kapag may collection, meron collection item. So, anong pangalan ng collection item natin? It's a list. So, ito siya. Alright? Okay? However, I'm going to just add another a tag na merong class of delete dash item. Say later, we're going to use that. No? Then, naalala nyo yung secondary content. Secondary content ng class ng materialize para dadalhin niya dun sa kabila yung content. Alright, so wala tayong href as of the moment. Pero kapag sinave natin yan, wala kayong makikita kahit sabihin nyo nilagay tayo ng secondary content unless we're going to put an icon dito na merong class of FA. Kaya ako kinuha yung font awesome so that I can use that FA-remove. Alright, so it's like an X. Okay, hindi dito na siya. Oops, ayun. Alright, kasi ang gusto natin kapag nag-type tayo dito, kapag sinabin natin, mapupunta dito. Dynamic. No? Kapag click natin, ito mabubura. Right? So, ganun yung gagawin natin project. Okay? So, but for now, let's just focus on building this structure para meron din ka na idea. Alright? So, I will copy. No? Kunwari, meron manglan-ngilan tayong laman. No? So, list item. Alright? So, I think list item. List item. Dapat pala sinabay-sabay ko na eh. Isa-isa ko pa. Right. So, ngayon, kapag check natin yan, so we have a sample na mga list item. Tapos yung font awesome, dito nang galing yan. Because of the icon. Alright. So, after that, after the UL, so ito siya. Siya yung end, no? Siya yung pinaka-parent ni LI. Okay, ang gagawin natin, we're going to create a tag. So, para sa yung a tag, we're going to create a class of clear dash class. Alright, then I want it to be a btn, a class of btn, para maging button to. Then, in this case, I want it to be, yung kulay is, let's say, purple. Alright, tapos nakalagay doon is clear class. Return natin. Tanggalin natin href kasi it's a button already na meron siyang class of clear task. We're going to use this to manipulate the DOM. Tapos yung program natin by mag-add tayo ng mga conditional statement, declaring variable, and so on. Right? So, ayan. So, parang technically, yung bubuin natin ganito using that document object model. Kasi this one is just a static. Okay, kapag sinabing static, wala naman siyang function, diba? So, it's a small application na gusto sana natin. Pag naglagay tayo dito at sinubmit natin, mapupunta siya dito. So, right now, kahit isubmit mo yan, wala mangyayari. Kahit i-clear mo to, wala mangyayari. Kahit pindutin mo tong X na to, wala mangyayari. Kasi it's a statically created nung structure natin. Pero ang gusto natin is parang interactive siya. No, kapag nag-submit tayo, napupunta mismo yung actual na data doon sa file natin or doon sa project natin. So, dapat ang alam nyo is kung paano i-manipulate yung DOM. Alright, so yun guys. So, yeah. So, I think we can proceed doon sa continue natin tong lesson natin. I think we're ready to go. Alright? So, ito yun. So, ngayon, document. Save natin. So, basically, ito yung structure niya kahit paano meron na tayong naman. Inspect. Na tayo kay console. Ayan, si console. So, again, mas dumami na yung laman niya. Alright? So, ayan. So, we're done with that. So, let's continue dun sa part ng document. Alright. So, let's see, saan ba tayo natapos? Action. Alright. So, we're done with the action. So, try nga natin yung action kung anong lalabas. Meron na ba tayong action? Kasi may form tayo. Ayan. Same pa rin siya. Alright. Kapag method, tulad ng sabi ko sa inyo, it's a get. Kasi wala tayo nilagay na default. It's a default. Wala tayong nilagay na compose. delete or uh, put for update. Excuse me. So how about the let's create this one. So change ko to, instead of form we're going to have links. Let's see a property ng document, parang hanapin niya lahat ng links. So as of the moment we have an A tag. So ayan, so meron tayong secondary content, lahat to A tag. Kita nyo nag-highlight siya, right? So ito apat siya, right? We have a length of 4, okay, which is totoo naman. Sa structure natin, meron naman talaga tayong nilagay na A-tag lahat. Right? So, yun yung links. Right? So, let's move on. So, what if kung you wanted to get the first link? So, ganun lang guys, using a bracket notation. So, index, mag-start siya with 0. So, ang ibibigay niya sa'yo is yung pinaka-una. Ayan. Okay, nakita nyo, nag-highlight siya. Siya yung A-tag na merong child of icon, na merong FA-remove. Ito siya. Alright, so I hope that it makes sense. Alright, so how about the ID? Check natin kung mayroong ID to. So tingnan natin kung meron siyang, naglagay tayo ng ID. So kung wala, I think it's undefined. So I think wala tayong ID for that specific links. Alright, unless maglagay tayo ng ID dito. Right, so let's say ID of test.
3, 2, 1.
So I think wala pa din siya kasi yung hinahanap natin is yung pinaka-una, which is pang ilan ba yung nilagyan ko? I think siya yung pinaka-huli. So, kung meron siyang 4 index, it's here 3. So, makukuha na natin yung test. Alright? So, ganun yung pag-manipulate ng DOM. So, how about the class name? Kung may ID, meron tinatawag na class name. Right? So, let's change this one into 0. Yung pinakauna, instead of ID, hingin natin siya na class name. So, yung class name, kung ano yung nakalagay na class doon sa pinakauna. So, right now, this one, we have a delete item and secondary content. Check natin. Delete item and secondary content. Okay, so yun yun. Right, so let's continue. How about the class list? So, iba yung class name sa class list. Yung class list will be a, para siya magiging array. Right, so class list. Check natin. Ganun siya. DOM token, pero nakalagay siya sa isang bracket. So, nakalagay dito is delete item and secondary content. Yung delete item, para ma-access mo siya, is mag-start ka with 0 and gusto mo makuha yung secondary content dun sa 1. So, tulad ng sabi niya, we can add that bracket notation 0 para ma-access natin yung pinakauna, which is delete item. So, ganun si class list. So, what is yung the difference between class name and class list? Alright, so what if kung meron kang image. Ay, sorry. What if kung meron kang image? So, pwede. Alright? So instead na links, para ma-access yung image mo and gusto mo i-manipulate, ang tawag dun is images. Pero as of the moment, wala siyang ibibigay. It's a HTML collection which is empty. Alright? Kasi length 0 kasi wala naman tayong image sa loob. Alright. How about the script? Alright. So, script. Do we have the script? Yes, meron tayong script. So, dami nating script dyan. Yung mga pinaglalagay ko yung script sa baba. Ayan. Alright, materialize, ganyan, jQuery. Okay, yun yung script. So, let's change this one into script. Or scripts, sa madaling salita. Madami. Ayan. So, ito siya. So, it's a HTML collection of 4. Nabasa niya na meron tayong script na 4. Tapos, ito daw yun. It's property of length. So, dami. Right? Kasi I think pati yung nandito sa taas, nabasa niya. Sa script yun. Ayan. Yung font awesome natin. Kaya nadagdagan. Right? So I hope that it makes sense, guys. Ganito talaga yung process of learning of DOM. Alright, so let's move on with, how about the gusto mo yung specific katulad ng ginawa natin. So, by adding a bracket notation, tapos let's say yung pangatlo. So, kunin natin siya. Tingnan nga natin kung sino ibibigay sa atin. So, siya yung merong Cloudflare materialize.meet.js. Alright, so we can also get the specific attribute by adding get attribute. Alright, so anong klaseng attribute yung kunin mo? So, in this case, sabi niya meron tayong SRC. Gusto ko makuha lang tong Cloudflare na to. So, SRC. So, save natin. Binigay niya sa atin yung pinaka value nung source natin. So, ganun siya. Alright, so since madami siya, no? Alright, kanina, nakita niyo yung script natin, di ba? So, pakita ko this in. Yung script natin will be ilan siya? Yan, HTML collection 4, no? So, we can use, paano siya magamit? Alright, paano siya gamitin? So, right now, kapag HTML collection, hindi niya siya magagamit unless i-turn niya siya into arrays. Alright? So, paano siya i-turn into arrays? Alright? So, para at least ma-manipulate natin siya at magamit natin in reality. So, we can go for declaring a variable let. Pangalanan natin siya ng script. Or scripts kasi madami. Is equal to document.scripts. Di ba naalala nyo? Kapag ito, right? So, madaling salita, etong HTML collection na pinasok natin siya sa script na variable. Alright? So, I hope that it makes sense. So, ngayon, let's declare another let, which is variable. Pangalanan din natin siya ng script with S, pero array. Right? Script array. So, ibig sabihin, gusto ko i-turn to into array. Kasi right now, ang tawag sa kanya is HTML collection, which is hindi nyo magagamit to. Okay? So, ganun yun. Alright? So, merong method na para ma-turn siya into an array. So, dun sa lesson natin sa fundamentals, meron tinatawag na constructor. It's a object na merong property and methods. Alright? So, technically, mamaya natin lagyan. So, ang tawag dito is constructor. It's a object, madaling salita, na meron siyang property and methods. Tawagin natin yung methods niya na nakalagay is from. Alright? So, from was indeed a method, kaya meron siyang parentheses. So, parang, ang kayang gawin ni array, right? Meron siyang mga property and methods. Itong from na to is an array constructor from iterable, alright? Array like. Okay, so ang gagawin niya daw creates an array from an iterable object. Alright, so basically yung HTML collection natin, we're going to put dito sa loob ng method of from para maging array siya. Alright, kapag naging array siya, may gagamit na natin, which is ito yung script.array. So ngayon, kunin natin tong variable na to, which is ang ina-handle is this document.script na madaling salita, siya yung HTML collection natin. I-copy natin yung script, i-paste natin dito. So ngayon, nung pinasok natin to, dahil nasa loob tayo ng from array, ito turn niya into array, kaya pumasok tayo sa variable na array. Alright, so ngayon, kapag kinonsole.log natin yan, check natin. Right, see script array. So, inaasahan ko na magiging array na siya. Ayan, yung prototype niya na is an array. Hindi na siya HTML collection. So, kapag array siya, pwede ko na siyang magamit. So, paano at saan natin siya gagamitin? So, para ma-access natin siya, we can use the looping or for loop, no? So, comment muna natin to. So, at least napakita ko sa inyo. So, let's call the script array. Lagyan natin siya ng method of for each. So, for each has a callback function with a parenthesis and curly braces. So, ibig sabihin, si for each has 3 argument. Pero ang una lang gagamitin natin is the value ng bawat isa ng array. So, yung individual. So, pangalanan natin to ng script. Kaya pa guys. Madaling salita, let's say cars. E di car lang yung individual niya. Okay? So ngayon, with that, we can access yung console natin. Pwede nang mangyari yung gusto natin mangyari sa loob ng curly braces. So, i-console lang natin si script. This, bawat individual na to. Oops. So, let's just copy. Paste in. Lagyan natin dot I wanted to get an attribute. Okay, katulad ng ginawa natin. Ang gusto lang natin na makuha is yung SRC niya, which is dapat nasa loob ng isang string. SRC. Alright, so save natin. Alright, check natin kung ano mangyayari. So, lahat lang ng source kinuha niya para sa atin. So, we have yung font awesome natin, jQuery, diba, minified, and you're familiar with, diba, yung materialize.mit.js natin, and document.js. Because of this one. Alright? Pero kung tatanggalin natin to, alright? So, we can easily get the arrays ulit. Alright? Ayan. So, nakuha natin mismo yung buong arrays. So, pwede natin silang i-manipulate. Alright? So, guys, dito natapos yung part nung how to use this document.